Today is November 11th. We commemorate Veterans Day today. Both the high school and the junior high put on a pretty good show yesterday in this commemoration because they didn't have school today. And one of the things that came up during those presentations was they had a slideshow of Fremont County veterans over the years. I believe it took like 28 minutes to cycle through the whole thing, and they were only on the screen for about a second each. There's a lot of people from Fremont County that have answered the call of their country over the years. Some of them are still with us and some of them aren't. Today we commemorate November 11th, Veterans Day. History behind Veterans Day: originally Armistice Day, the end of World War I. As the years have gone by and situation has changed in America's culture, it was eventually renamed Veterans Day. It had a brief period where it was a Monday holiday, later changed back to November 11th by traditional date. Number of factors that make up the commemoration. Purpose of the Veterans Day is to honor veterans. We're not out here looking for any kind of glory or special effects. We're just simply saying we did our job, and when you say thank you, we really appreciate that. I'm going to have Mayor Nell Stewison of St. Anthony make a few comments. Mayor.
Thank you, Tim. And thanks to all of you. I didn't expect this kind of a crowd here at all, but I'm glad that it is here. To start with, I just want you to know that I am very honored and humbled just to even be asked to say a few things. As I was doing a little research on Veterans Day to decide what I'm going to talk about, I come up with some interesting facts. Tim, he alluded to some of those already. So I want to share these facts with you if I can. We celebrate annually on November the 11th the anniversary of World War I. There are 19.3 million veterans in the United States. That's according to the latest statistics that are available. There's 1.6 million female veterans. There are 9.4 million veterans over the age of 65. So there's a lot of veterans out there. On November the 11th, 1918, the armistice ending World War I begins at 11 a.m. On June 1st, 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signs the bill changing Armistice Day to Veterans Day in order to include all U.S. veterans. The original concept for celebrating was for a day of observance of parades, public meetings, and brief suspension of business beginning at 11 a.m. The United States Congress officially recognized the end of World War I when it passed a concurrent resolution on June the 4th of 1926 with these words. I'd like to share that resolution with you. You can kind of compare it with today and see if the things that our forefathers wanted there is really coming to pass. Whereas on the 11th of November 1918 marked the cessation of the most destructive, sanguinary, and far-reaching war in human annals, and the resumption by the people of the United States of peaceful relations with other nations, which we hope may never again be severed. And whereas it is fitting that the reoccurring anniversary of this date should be commemorated with thanksgiving and prayer, an exercise designed to perpetuate peace through goodwill and mutual understanding between nations. And whereas the legislature of 27 of our states have already declared November the 11th to be a legal holiday, therefore be resolved by the Senate and the House of Representatives concurring that the President of the United States is requested to issue a proclamation calling upon officials to display the flag of the United States on all government buildings. On November 11th, inviting the people of the United States to observe the day in schools and churches and other suitable places with appropriate ceremonies of friendly relations with all peoples. That's the resolution that was passed back in 1918. it's obvious that the desires of our forefathers hasn't necessarily materialized that way, because there's been wars since then, and there probably will continue to be so. It's a sad thing. Veterans Day continues to be observed on November the 11th, regardless of what day of the week it falls on. Tim indicated that for a while it was on a weekend so that all of us could have a 3-day holiday, 3-day weekend. But of the restoration of the observance of Veterans Day on November the 11th not only preserves the historical significance of the date, but helps focus attention on the importance, purpose of Veterans Day. The celebration and honor Americans veterans for their patriotism, their love of country, and their willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good. I'd just like to say that it's something that we must never forget. The high cost to American citizens, to all veterans, no matter which war they were in and involved in. Our veterans have fought, and in all too many cases, given their lives to protect the freedoms which we so much enjoy in this great country and throughout the world. We must remember that it's a blessing to be free. We also must remember that freedom is not necessarily free. It comes at a very high cost. We must not forget that. Our veterans, we honor you at this time. I'd like to close these remarks with just 3 simple words. They go like this. Thank you, veterans.
Ask the honor guard to do an about face for the flag on the pole here. About face. All right. If you would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2, resume formation. We are going to conduct our annual ceremony now with military honors for veterans. This consists of 2 basic parts. One is what we call a 3-round volley, where our rifles will fire 3 shots. This stems from a tradition from World War I, which was a trench warfare type war. The idea was that after a battle, you had a lot of dead soldiers out on the field. Both sides would agree to a temporary ceasefire and truce so that they could send people out onto the field safely to gather the dead. When both sides had cleared their dead off the field, each side would fire 3 shots to indicate that they were ready to resume the battle. We fire the 3 shots as a commemoration that for some veterans that battle is over. Following the 3-round volley, we will be doing taps, final call. This is a bugle call. It has several aspects of it depending on whether you're in a boot camp or a base or a funeral. But taps is the final, shall we call it, a sunset on activity for veterans. That will be done by Matt Bidwell today, kind of taking in the shoes of his father. And I think I'm going to turn this microphone off so that the gunfire doesn't. Is it going to be a problem? Okay. Detail, 10 hut. Present arms. From your ready, aim. Fire. 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 Present arms. Buglers, sound off. that concludes our observance of Veterans Day, and we appreciate very much that you came out to join us. It's a beautiful day, and I'm really happy to see you here. Have a nice day.